Welcome in to another Thursday chat, and I'm certainly excited about this one. I've been talking with my guest today a couple times before getting ready to record today. And the energy that she brings to the off-camera conversations is so palpable and so intoxicating that I guarantee by the end of this talk that you're going to be ready just to go out there and start dominating your industry and dominating your business. The cleaning boss herself. Can I say that? It's Carrie Knight. Carrie, welcome.
Thanks so much, Sean. I appreciate that intro.
Yeah, it's I'm excited to talk to you. One thing in particular, I'm looking at your website right now, and you have a line on there that says, "Having failed my way to $1 million cleaning business."
Yeah.
I love the realistic element of that of talking that journey of it's not all magical.
Right.
You might get to a great ending, but there's always troubles and tribulations along the way.
Right.
But what I also love is that you have used that sort of mentality to really structure how you approach helping other people. And what I mean by
Yeah.
that is that you'll challenge them, you'll kind of inspire them, but you are also understanding that there's going to be some challenges along the way. Can we just start, I guess, at the very beginning, and we don't do the
Yeah.
full, the journey through. Can we talk about when you started this entrepreneurial journey and some of the challenges that you faced right away?
Yeah. So I started right at the beginning of the economic recession in 2008. And you were probably still in elementary school, is my guess back then.
Not quite, not quite.
Okay, junior high. So yeah, that era, especially in Florida, was a really bad time. So it's just some parts of the United States were hit really hard. The real estate market, which I mean, essentially is kind of what we're in, right? Like I serve homes, so if anything impacts that market, we're directly affected. So that's essentially what happened. Is there was the real estate bubble here in Florida. Overnight, homes devalued by 50%, and they just kept on the decline. So with that, I lost a lot of customers because let's be honest, if you're going to put yourself on a budget, if the family needs to go on a budget because you're going to lose their job, what's the first thing to go? The first thing to go is house cleaning. I don't need a house cleaner if I lost my job and I'm sitting at home all day. So early on, I left this part out. I bought an existing business. So when I jumped on board, I basically purchased someone else's business, and I thought I was going to come in and just like overnight I'm going to have success and just grow this thing and rock it out. And the exact opposite happened. So I went backwards before I ever went forward, and that was a really hard, like I didn't know how to manage anything like this because I had never been here in my life before, ever. Like anything, I felt like career-wise, anything I touched was like anything I touched turned to gold. Like it was just success, like success, like my career path was
Yeah.
success, success, success. And so when I was met with the challenges of an economic recession and then, finding employees, losing customers, I I didn't know what to do. And honestly, like all I was ever told to do was to spend money on print marketing. Like that was the thing that
Mhm.
people just said, just spend your money. You've got your working capital. You gotta hit it hard. Money mailers and Valpak and and here's the funny part. That was the beginning of the end for print marketing. Nobody knew it then because
Yeah.
it worked. Up until that point, it always worked. But that was the beginning of the end. Like print marketing, in my opinion, for most industries is dead today because everybody's online. So I spent $30,000 on print advertising that never resulted in anything. And all I did was really deplete my bank account. And that happened really fast.
And
So yeah, I mean, it was for me, it was 3 years of not knowing what I was doing. I call it a learning curve. But honestly, I pretty much that 3 years, I lost everything. We lost everything. We lost our family money. We lost our home, nearly lost our marriage. It was a really bad time. So for me, luckily, the state of Florida, I'm in Tampa, Florida. Tampa was able to kind of recover, and we started to show signs of growth. And then just gradual, I was able to pick up more, more customers. And then I really learned what it took to grow my business, which was improving the culture inside my business. Because if you take care of your employees, they'll take care of your customers. So it was this 3-year learning curve. Yes, I failed my way to success. And maybe had I not done that, I wouldn't be here today. I don't know, but I
Yeah.
truly had to fail in order to figure it out.
And it's all, I mean, I think that's always true. There's going to be some
Yeah,
failures along the way. And you're hoping that your failures are, solvable, that they come back,
right.
and it's not something that sinks the whole boat. The boat can take on a
Yeah,
little bit of water, but if you have a method of, learning, adapting, and getting that water out, then you'll be okay.
yes.
And learning, adapting is kind of where I want to go a bit next, because now you are the past little stretch here. You started some consulting, you started some coaching, but looking for those avenues with something that kind of helped you start to learn. You talked about having success in other industries,
Mhm.
and that kind of translates in home services across the board. Sometimes you see technicians that are really good at the skill, and then
Yeah,
when they go to be the business owner, that's when they find out the laundry list of things that they haven't quite accomplished.
right.
Were you in some of your other ventures, things like that? Have you always had it instilled in you to, either have a coach, have a mentor, or do others, or did you also have that entrepreneurial spirit that some have, where you're just so determined to do it on your own that it became
Yeah.
something you had to overcome to find coaching?
Well, I was broke, like I was broke. I didn't have any money.
Yeah.
And I don't think early on, I got to be honest, Sean, I don't think I knew about coaching.
Okay.
I wasn't an entrepreneurial. I wasn't an entrepreneurial from the beginning. I came out of a corporate world. So I don't think I really knew about this other world that existed of coaches, business coaches. And I wasn't like smart enough or aware enough to know that this truly was the path. Like I didn't even know that that was the path to for so many people that unlock success. And so like when you hire a business coach, they're literally shortcutting your path to success. They're giving you little shortcuts because they've already been there and they know the rules to success. Like you've got to do this and this and this and this, and that's the shortcut to getting what you need. Like that's how you grow your business. So um, luckily, like in my like through networking locally and that sort of thing, I was able to learn about this whole nother world that existed. And then yes, so that's when I opened myself up to my first coach, who happened to be a local business coach. She did group coaching,
Hmm.
and that really changed my business, and it allowed me to change my mindset. And mindset is huge in business, because as a business owner, you're met with so many challenges that you have to have a really strong mindset. Because like when you're met with a bad day, it that bad day sometimes can turn into a bad week, a bad month, and then you find yourself spiraling. Like everything is negative and bad, and it all started from one bad day. And so like you have to change your mindset and just like take a day and say, okay, that was 24 hours. I'm going to reset tomorrow. I'm not going to let what happened today affect me tomorrow. And that was big. Like that was huge in my business, because I always say in the cleaning business, sometimes you take one step forward and you take 2 steps back. But then another day you might take 5 steps forward and only 1 step back. So you get there, it's gradual, but your mindset is critical to your success.
And you talked about, pouring money into print advertising,
Yeah.
and the ROI on that one, sunk completely.
Is there an
Um,
ROI? Yeah.
yeah, yeah, right. But with coaching, sometimes the hurdle for some people is that it is a bigger investment, but it's probably one of the best investments that you could make, because it's really an investment in yourself. You've now set a level of expectation that,
Yeah.
hey, you paid for something, you better get something out of it. But with coaching, that's really what the most control. So like with print ads, you get the physical thing. That's part of the investment. But then
Right.
it's how are you handing it out? Is it actually effective? Things like that. But with
Right.
coaching, you've invested just to say, hey, are you willing to learn? Are you willing to go forth?
Yeah.
It's scary, but is there honestly like any you can add on to kind of explain where that investment actually goes with coaching? Because I think sometimes people look at it of like, I'm paying just for someone else to tell me something, but it's much
Yeah,
more
I
than
know
that.
it is. It's a strange situation where it's like, how do I know that if I spend this money, it's gonna multiply? Like what's my return on my investment if I choose to hire this business coach? And like I said earlier, it's truly like when you hire somebody, they hold the key. Like they're gonna share the key with you to unlock success. And so what I say is, I mean, first of all, you have to look at reviews, right? Because I have plenty of reviews, but you you have to go into it again with a mindset that this is going to work, and you have to take action. And that's what I see in a lot of people who maybe they don't have success, is because they weren't willing to take action. And that's on the person themselves, because your coach can only go so far. Although me as a coach, like I push you and I push you and I push you, but if you're not willing to be pushed and you're not willing to take action, then you're not going to have success. So the student has to be willing to change. You have to be willing to, again, it's that mindset, but you have to be willing to put in the work, because that's the only way I got where I was. Like the only way I got to where I was, or where I am, is I took massive action, massive action. I changed everything. I changed my culture. I changed our policies. I changed our pricing. I mean, like you name it, I changed it and I made it better. So, but that takes time. And so you have to be willing to change, and you have to be willing to let somebody else like lead and say, that's not the right way to do it. Like your coach is going to say, that's not the way you do it. You don't do pricing that way. You need to do it this way, and you're going to make more money. So, um, it's tough for people to understand that a coach really is the one who holds the keys. But I can tell you, like for me personally, I know so much about the cleaning industry. Again, this is my 13th year in business.
Mhm.
I've failed at everything. I have failed at everything. And my failures were really expensive along the way. I lost everything. But I figured out how to prevent those failures. And when I figured out, I was like, oh, I need to share this with people. And that's how I kind of got where I am today with the coaching, because it was like, I don't want people to suffer the way that I did. I want to share these shortcuts. And so one of my students who took my class, I think it was like 4 weeks ago, she learned my secret, like a strategy that I teach. I call it a secret. And she herself was absolutely blown away. She booked 7, which is unheard of, by the way, 7 biweekly customers in one day. 7 biweekly customers. And her prices are a little bit higher because she's in New York. And she said, Carrie, the 7 customers to my bottom line is to her revenue line, not bottom line, is $30,000 a year. So she's like, I spent 1,000 to make 30,000. Yeah,
Yeah.
like all day long, all day
But
long.
yeah, it's incredible because we hear, we talk to other coaches and other programs and like that, and we always like hear those stories
Yeah,
of how the investment immediately kind of pays off because as I said earlier, because you're betting on yourself, you're really putting it back in your hands, and it's there's secrets, there's strategies, there's kind of
yeah,
tips,
there
but
are.
yeah.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
it's also like a partnership as well. And the reason why I say that is because I often hear like, all right, well, what if I, just go buy the books and I read my own
Yeah,
because I can't pay for the extra sort of buy-in.
right.
And where I'm generally going with this is if someone is now looking like, all right, I know, I look at my numbers, I look at my bank accounts, like
Mhm.
I can't even do the smallest bit of coaching. Like I don't want to waste money
Right.
throwing $500 into a coach where the reviews are terrible and I know I'm not going to get anything out of it. What is there a small scale way to kind of to build your way towards, I don't want to say like as you keep yourself afloat to get to that coaching
Yeah, so here's what
revenue,
I
but
say.
what's the kind of the first steps you can get? Yeah, go ahead.
Here's what I say. Like when it comes to investing in yourself or investing in your business and you want to grow, you're right. You can read a book, but the reality is does anybody really sit down, read a book, and then execute what you learned? Not really, because the time frame of reading this book, that's just like this big, is like 4 weeks, because
Yeah.
you didn't have enough time to sit like not, and then you got to go, what did it say? And I love books. It just takes me a lot of time to read a book. I love them. I have lots of them. But here's what I say: when it comes to growing your business, you either have to pay with your time or you have to pay with your money. It's one or the other.
Yeah.
So if you're going to pay with your time, then you're going to read books and you're going to listen to podcasts. And podcasts are gold. If you have time to listen to podcasts, there's so much gold in there, and there's so much value in there. But the thing is, It's time. So that's hours and hours and hours and hours and hours of learning and listening, and then you implement. It's all there. Like, and I know you've heard this before. Everything you need to know about anything is online. It's true, but you have to have the time to go and find it and then listen, because there's so many great YouTube videos. But that's hours and hours and hours and hours of learning and waiting to, like, you got to find it. So you pay with your time in that way, or you pay with your money. And again, the money is shortcutting your path to success, because I don't have hours and hours and hours and hours and hours to coach my students. I hit them with the hard stuff, right? I give them the things that are going to help them hit the home run. That's it. I'm not looking for first base. We're going for a home run. So that's what I teach them. And it's a quick hit. So like I said, I mean, it's you pay with your time or your money. It's just up to you which approach works better for you, because you may not have the money.
Yeah, and I think also, I know you're an advocate of networking groups. I know it's a whole different discussion, but you talked about, like barter programs with other businesses as kind of a way to kind of start your growth, things like that. But sometimes maybe collecting a local network is a way to start that toe kind of into coaching. So maybe if it's just, it's different industry, but maybe it's a little accountability kind of back and forth. You're all checking one another.
Mhm.
And I think that would help strengthen the community at large if businesses are coming together. Um,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, is there any other general advantages networking groups, but like from the coaching perspective of having kind of a local accountability as opposed to the greater accountability?
Well, I mean, the best part about like networking groups in general is the ability to learn from others, because we've all had different journeys and we're all at different paths in our journey. But like everyone has these little gold nuggets. Even on my Zoom call yesterday, there were um, six of us or eight of us, and one of my students said something. I was like, "You're joking me. What?" He told me something. I'm like, "I've never heard of that before." And so I picked up a nugget. And that's the best part about networking is, yeah, maybe somebody else isn't as large as you revenue wise, but their skill set when it comes to like technology or I mean, tech is so huge to every business today. I
Yeah.
mean, gosh, the strategies and technology solutions, it changes your business. Like there's like Zapier. I mean, look at how Zapier has
Yes.
changed so many businesses. It's like night and day from where we were 10 years ago because of one simple software solution. So that's what I'm saying with networking, you get to learn these little golden nuggets that again didn't cost you anything. It cost you your time to network and to learn from others.
Well, Carrie, I appreciate your time today. Especially to not only inspire our audience, but just to kind of I don't know help break down some I think honestly self-imposed barriers for some people when it comes to seeking help or asking for coaching or looking for ways to kind of grow. If anyone's interested in
Yeah.
hearing more from you, learning more about you, where would you like them to go?
Visit my website, www.carrieknight. So that's CarrieKnight.com. I have information on there about my coaching as well as some of the courses that I have. I've got some online courses that you can take as well.
Yeah, if you own a cleaning business, absolutely check out Carrie Knight. But even if you don't check out Carrie Knight, because I guarantee you're going to pick up some great tips within your own industry as well. Well, thanks again, Carrie. I really do appreciate the time, and we'll be talking to you soon.
Thank you, Sean. I really appreciate it.